2008 have taught us that there are a number of tried and tested ways to bounce back after a layoff. In some cases, you might even end up better off than you were before. Think of the old saying, when one door closes, another one opens. Getting back into the job market after a layoff can lead to more and better opportunities than you could ever imagine. In this guide, we are going to be talking about dealing with being laid off in terms of both the emotional and the practical aspects. Taking these practical steps should hopefully secure you the job of your dreams. Let's get started with one of the most difficult aspects of being laid off, dealing with the shock of becoming unemployed. Dealing with the shock of getting laid off. Dealing with the shock of getting laid off is one of the most stressful things a person will ever have to overcome. It triggers all sorts of emotional issues, as well as practical ones related to what to do next. Dealing with the emotional side is the only way to get over the paralysis that often comes with such bad news. There's a lot to do once you are laid off, so you need to be at your best. The first thought for most people is, why me? They often feel that they might have done something to deserve being laid off. This might potentially be true if they haven't been working their best. However, in most cases, a layoff is a purely financial decision on the part of the company and not something to be taken personally. It often means either the most expensive personnel and/or people considered to be surplus personnel are laid off. If you are only one of a small number of people getting laid off, this can be extremely distressing. If you are part of a large number of people who are laid off, such as occurred in 2008 and 2009, you might take some comfort from the fact that you were one of many. However, you might also be worried that there will be many people just like you looking for the same jobs. This being the case, it is important to be clear about what to expect once you are laid off and to know your rights. It also means rolling up your sleeves and getting the jump on everyone else by starting to look for a new job despite feeling devastated. The impact on loved ones of being laid off. This positive can-do attitude is particularly important if you have a spouse, partner, and children who are depending on your income. It can be devastating when your paycheck suddenly vanishes overnight. It can be even worse if you get laid off at certain times of the year, such as just before the end-of-year holidays. But you can survive even this as you are honest and proactive. You should already have a household budget in place, but if you don't, this should be your first step. Note down the essentials each month, such as rent, mortgage, food, utilities, internet, car or transportation expenses, and so on. Everything else should be considered a luxury until such time as you are earning a steady paycheck once more. Discussing your new pared-down budget with loved ones old enough to understand what's at stake can go a long way towards taking the financial pressure off you. It is a question of priorities and surviving the tough times by being smart. Let's look next at the practical aspects of the actual layoff itself and what your immediate steps will be in the aftermath of this event. Know your rights and get what you can. It's hard to think straight when you have just been laid off, but what you do in the immediate aftermath of the layoff can make all the difference between success and failure when it comes to coping with this challenge. The most important thing is to discover what you are entitled to. The first is severance pay. If companies can afford to, they will offer a severance package to help make up financially to a certain extent for the loss of your job. Severance is not obligatory, however. https://www.dole.gov/general/topic/wages/severance pay. In the US, the Employee Benefits Security Administration can also help with issues such as this. There is extra protection for workers over age 40 in reference to severance pay. It is important to be clear about the terms of the severance package as well, not just in terms of how much money you can expect, but also whether there is anything else involved in it, such as a non-compete clause, and if so, the length of it, or a non-disclosure agreement, NDA. A non-compete might be a tough obstacle to you getting another job in the same niche or industry. If you are being laid off through no fault of your own, you should be entitled to references from your line manager and any other person in the company who has direct experience of the work you have been putting in and can comment on it in a meaningful way. If you are being laid off for cause, see if there is someone you have been working with who would be willing to give you a testimonial. You could even ask clients who know you well, as long as there is no NDA or non-compete. Unemployment benefits. Your next port of call will be the unemployment website and office to determine your level of entitlement and go through the paperwork and interview process in order to make sure you get the right amount of money and lay the groundwork for returning to employment efficiently. The sooner you file for unemployment, the sooner you can start getting checks coming in. Often there can be a delay of several weeks, so you should not waste any time in starting the process. If it is a question of pride regarding unemployment, remember that whenever you are employed, you are paying into an unemployment fund. It is not charity. It is your money, and there is a safety net in case you need it. You might also wish to consult a labor lawyer just in case you want someone to look over all your termination papers and your severance package. They can often be very helpful with adding useful clauses to the boilerplate layoff documents many companies use. In this way, you can feel more certain you are not being harmed in any way and your rights are protected. Labor lawyers usually charge reasonable consultation fees to look over your paperwork. They can also help you determine If you have a legal case, such as discrimination, or if you think you were laid off for a particular reason no one is admitting to, such as age, gender, race, and so on. Be clear about how much severance and unemployment you will get, and the payout dates. Evaluate your budget in light of this information, and whatever savings you have in the bank. Financial experts recommend that people try to set up an emergency fund that covers at least 1 to 3 months of their average household expenses. However, if you have not been able to put by that amount of money, it will be a case of making the most of what you do have coming in until you find a new job and getting ready for your big search. Your next step is to evaluate where you are at the moment in your career and to polish up your resume and other paperwork needed to help you apply for a new job. Let's look at your next steps with respect to your career. Is your current career right for you? It is only natural to feel eager to get right back to work, but this might actually be the perfect time to do some soul searching as to whether or not you are happy in your career. If you have been laid off for cause, might there be a reason, such as lack of skills or motivation, that held you back from doing your best? If you're not happy with your current career, now might be the best time to consider making a change. Do you still feel highly motivated when you wake up every morning? Or have you had a nagging sense lately that something is missing from your life, or that you could be doing something more or differently? A career change is not going to be as easy as finding a new job in the same niche or industry, but you will never know unless you try. Research will be key to making a successful transition into any new job. One form of research is to look deeper within, to explore your motivations and what you feel is your mission in life. It is also important to look for what is termed transferable skills, those which can help you succeed in your new career of choice. For example, if you've been working as a teacher, chances are that you are a people person who enjoys working with others and would be a good mentor and leader. You will probably be well organized and be a self-starter, willing to learn. These are skills that can lend themselves to a wide variety of careers, not just teaching. Career and personality quizzes. One of the best ways to help evaluate if your current career is right for you and what kind of career would suit you best is to try some online tests. They take many different forms, but can help narrow down what you are really good at and feel passionate about. Another reason for taking these tests is that an increasing number of human resources and hiring managers might also ask you to take certain tests in order to determine if you would be a good fit for a particular position. One of the most common is the Briggs-Myers test. It groups people into one of 16 different types of working personality based on introvert, extrovert, and other polarities. Some employers require you to take the test when you come in for interview in order to help narrow down a wide candidate pool based on the test results. Self-directed search. This inexpensive site helps you discover your passion. It divides you into one of 6 different types: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, or conventional, and makes suggestions about the best career and educational opportunities that will suit you. My next move. This site is free and sponsored by the US Department of Labor. It asks you to rank different tasks according to how interested you are in doing them. It then makes suggestions as to good career options and how much training it would take for you to enter the suggested careers. Pametrics. This is a fun site where you can play games that will help determine your skills, abilities, and interests. By knowing your traits, you can make smarter decisions about your career. You can also get matched up with recruiters. Taking these tests. With these kinds of tests, honesty really is the best policy. There is no right answer. Don't try to second-guess yourself. It is far better to work in a job that really suits you than to take any old job just to make ends meet and end up suffering. These tests can help you find the right job and career based on who you really are. It's also important because knowing what you want and need can help you avoid a patchy career with short gigs and gaps in between. The last thing you want is an inconsistent-looking resume because it will raise red flags with hiring managers. Changing careers. These assessments can help you determine whether or not to switch careers. It can be part of your research process as to whether or not it is a good idea and what training and experience you need to make the change. You will need to reorganize your resume with this in mind. The tests can help you with keywords and buzzwords that will be of interest for hiring managers. They can also help you plan the best ways to break into your intended new career, such as an internship, part-time work, and so on. While you are unemployed, might be the perfect time to explore your options. Once you are reasonably certain as to whether or not you want to remain in your current career or branch out into a new one, it will be time to start updating your resume. Let's look at this in the next section. Preparation is key to finding another job. If you're like most people, your resume is gathering dust on your hard drive and hasn't been touched for quite a while. Now is the time to put your best foot forward so you can really impress hiring managers in your new job search. Brainstorming. Start by brainstorming everything you have been doing in your most recent position. Think in terms of action verbs such as create, supervise, manage. This will show that you are an active worker who has been responsible for projects, people, and so on. Specific accomplishments. Include specific accomplishments in the form of a brief example of what you did, what happened and what the positive outcome was. Examples include launched X product, which increased revenue by $Y. Streamlined processing of product A, which decreased costs by $B. Grew Facebook followers from 10,000 to 25,000 in 1 year. And so on. Note down anything you got praise or recognition for, such as Employee of the Month, or an email from a supervisor or client thanking you for the great work. Next, condense the information into a series of eye-catching bullet points, which will make it easier for hiring managers to read. Go through the same process for your previous posts. If you are trying to change careers, create a second copy of your resume and rewrite it with a view to emphasizing the transferable skills that will be of most use in the new industry you wish to work in. Long form to shorter resumes. It is okay to have more than one resume. Your long-form resume can be edited down to cater to each job you are applying for. It will take longer to fill out each application, but think quality and good fit rather than quantity or applications cranked out. In most cases, you will be applying online anyway, in which case you will be copying and pasting the data into the specified sections. Note that there will usually be character limits and sometimes entry limits. Length of resume. Some professionals say your resume should only be a page long, but this is pretty unrealistic, especially if you have been in the workforce for more than 15 years. If this is the case, you don't need to list every job you ever had, only the most relevant ones. Try to keep it to 2 pages, with generous margins and a readable font such as Times New Roman 12. References and testimonials. The more, the better. You don't have to use them all, but it helps to have a variety. Make a list and check it to make sure you have all the correct contact information, such as cell phone and email. Note that in some cases, they might ask for professional references and character references too. Keywording. Be sure to use the keywords in your resume that an employer would be most likely to use when searching for someone with your skills and abilities. Error and typo-free work. Make sure you spell check your resume. Also, print it out on paper and proofread it. If you are nervous about your spelling and grammar, or want an independent assessment of the quality of your resume, consider spending the money on a resume service. Corporate research. It's easy to get excited and apply for everything that looks like a good fit, but slow down and look up each company on Glassdoor.com and Careerbliss.com before you start to fill out the application. It is important for you to be a good fit for a job, but it also has to be a good fit for you. A company where everyone is miserable and never gets promoted will never be ideal. Note that this research can also come in handy if you make it to the interview stage. You can use it to ask intelligent questions about the job you are applying for. Once you have your resume per second ready, you should be feeling more confident about your job search. But before you start digging into all of the job search sites, it is important to tap into your network. Let's look at this topic next. The importance of contacts networking. When you get laid off, it is only natural to feel a bit dejected and perhaps even embarrassed that you have lost your job. However, not telling people what has happened can be one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Experts estimate that around 70% of jobs in the US never get listed publicly. They are part of what is called the hidden job market. The hidden job market is basically jobs that are filled through contacts and networking. It isn't always a case of what you know, but also who you know. Therefore, if people find out that you are available and you have a good reputation in your industry, you might not even have to look for a job. Offers will start coming to you. Tap into the contacts you have. This may sound like a dream come true. And it can be, provided you are ready to network like a pro. Think of all the contacts that you have associated with your industry or the new industry you would like to start working in. Think about friends, family, neighbors and so on who might know people who could use your services. Print up business cards with your contact information on the front and brief bullet points on the back and hand them out as appropriate. Don't be shy. Chances are that, even if the person does not need your services, they might keep the information at the back of their mind and refer you to others. Also, remember that people do business with people they like. This being the case, if you are friendly, personable, and well-spoken, chances are you will stick in their mind. Then if a person needs, for example, a web designer, they might instantly think of you. If you don't think you are a people person, practice. Go out of your way to talk to people. Remember, their favorite subject will usually be themselves. Listen and learn what people's needs and concerns are. Then think about the kinds of solutions you can offer if they mention your niche or industry. Network in person. Networking in person can be a bit embarrassing if you are shy. However, it is always a good idea to practice an elevator speech to get the ball rolling and answer the basic questions of who you are and what you do. Write a 15 to 30-second description of the essentials, then practice it until it comes naturally to you. Think of people in your niche or industry and their main problems. What problems do you solve? Include those in your elevator speech and you are bound to pique people's interest. Another place to network is your local chamber of commerce. It offers free courses, talks and so forth that can help business owners succeed. If you can come up with a great idea for a presentation, offer yourself as a guest speaker and use the opportunity on the platform to show what you know. You will be able to network with all sorts of people at the event, and it is a great chance to hand out business cards and connect with people who can really use your services. Your social media presence. At least 70% of recruiters and human resource managers admit that they shortlist candidates for jobs based on what they find out about each candidate through social media. This being the case, it is important to have a great LinkedIn profile. You also need to make sure that your social media presence is not going to embarrass you. If your full name is on it anywhere, it might be time to edit it. For example, check your Facebook account, Twitter feed and so forth to make sure that there is nothing there that would raise any red flags with a human resources manager or a recruiter. Partying tales, embarrassing photos and so on need to be deleted or hidden. Think of your profiles as a way to showcase your professionalism. You can create a new one, of course, to try to cover over your old accounts, but if you do this, you will need to publish a large amount of useful content to show what you know. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the main social network for professional people to connect with one another. It is also the most trusted of all networks. Why? Because people can't hide behind a cloak of anonymity. The whole point of the site is to connect with others through your work history and educational history, which will be verified in a number of ways, including by people you know connecting with you. A full, detailed LinkedIn profile can be just as good, if not better, than your resume, but honesty is the best policy. The two need to be consistent with one another. Your profile will also allow you to link to publications, PowerPoint presentations, and more. It will take several hours to create a great profile, and it requires regular activity and upkeep of the profile, but it is a great way to position yourself as a thought leader in your niche or industry. LinkedIn groups. Your profile is the gateway to LinkedIn groups about various topics. Join the ones that make the most sense for your niche, industry and interests. Connecting with thought leaders. Follow thought leaders' accounts and interact with the content. It will make you more visible in your niche or industry and earn you more followers in return. Your SlideShare account. SlideShare.net is the #1 presentation sharing site on the internet. It is now owned by LinkedIn. This being the case, you can boost your profile by uploading useful PowerPoint or other types of decks and linking to them. They are short, attractive ways to help you show what you know and why you are worth paying attention to and working with. Recruiters. LinkedIn is used heavily by recruiters looking for top people to slot into positions they have been hired to help fill. They get a percentage or finder's fee for every person they slot into a vacancy. They often know about jobs that are never listed. Companies hire recruiters because they trust that they know the right people and the demands they require from their staff. Recruiters save them the screening process and only connect them with people they think will be a good fit. Being on LinkedIn gives you ample opportunity to be contacted by a range of recruiters. Keywords will help drive your visibility. The paid level of LinkedIn can offer you even more opportunities. You can also work with recruiters in person. Look for ones who specialize in a particular niche or industry, for example publishing, website design, and so forth. As you can see, there's a lot to do once you become unemployed. In fact, there can be so much, it is easy to get overwhelmed. Let's look next at the importance of having a daily routine when you are unemployed, so you can get back to work more quickly. The importance of having a daily routine when you are unemployed. Most of us are so used to the 9-to-5 and bosses telling us what to do that being unemployed can be a real shock to the system. While it might be nice to enjoy a bit of freedom for a day or so, being too relaxed can have negative consequences and prevent you from getting back into a great job quickly. It's tempting to hang out in your PJs all day, watch TV, or tackle all the chores around the house that you didn't have time for when you were working full-time. However, studies have shown that psychologically, it is very important to maintain a daily routine similar to a regular working day, even when you are unemployed, for a number of reasons. A regular routine will keep you motivated and help maintain momentum. It is amazing how fast the time can go with little getting accomplished if you are not strict with yourself. Maintaining a schedule with a checklist of things to do related to your job hunt can help keep you on track. It is also important because the larger the gap in your resume, the more questions your resume will raise in the eyes of hiring managers. A checklist of action steps. Here are a few of the essentials you need to do every day. Set a waking time. Shower and dress in clothes decent enough for anyone to see you in as you network around the neighborhood, including the coffee shop and supermarket. Carry business cards with you at all times in your wallet or purse. Print out more as needed. Have breakfast. It's brain food. Get to your desk at a reasonable time. Set a timer for chores such as email and social media so they don't take up your time. Use Google Timer or an app on your phone. Create a professional-looking email address for your job hunt and check it first each day. A separate email will help ensure you don't miss any important communications amid a sea of junk in your regular email box. Add your resume to top sites such as monster.com. This can take time. Apply for jobs. Read through the description to see if you would be a good fit. Research the company to see if it would be a good fit for you. If yes, fill out the application. Edit your resume as needed to emphasize the skills they are looking for in the job description. Check dates and make sure the right information goes into the right fields. Check for typos. Write your cover letter. Use it to explain why you are interested in the job and why you would be a good fit. An easy trick is to copy and paste the exact requirements and match your skills to them. Keep a file folder on your desktop of all this work, job descriptions and so on, so you can refer to it again if you get to the interview stage. Be prepared for phone calls. Some are just a fact-finding mission, while others are a preliminary interview that will help a hiring manager or recruiter determine whether or not they want to invite you in to speak with you further. Keep a paper calendar to note down calls and interviews. Schedule regular meal and exercise breaks on your calendar. Check your LinkedIn page for recent communications. Follow up as needed. Update your website if you own one. Create a portfolio site of samples of work in your chosen field. Check your social media accounts. If there is embarrassing content, delete or hide. If there is too much you would not want prospective employers to see, create new accounts and add interesting content. Consider opening accounts at popular freelancing sites like Upwork and Fiverr. You can gain experience as well as cash. Watch out for distractions. Keep your work area clutter-free and media-free, except for your phone. Set up a home office. Create a place for everything and keep everything in its place. This will save you a great deal of time. Keep your computer organized. Give meaningful names to your files so you can find, for example, various versions of your resume easily and details on each job location if you get invited for interview. Be sure to have an up-to-date contact information sheet. This should include all the contact information for your referees. Make sure you have permission to use them as a referee. Include name, address, telephone number, business phone and cell phone, and so forth. Organize your interview wardrobe. Be sure to clean and press suits, shirts and so on. Polish the shoes and briefcase. If you are a woman and have not had your hair and nails done recently, now is the time to do it. Men, get a haircut. Prepare intelligent questions for any interview you are invited to. Write a thank you letter to send after the interview. Thank them for their time and recap 1 or 2 things you felt went particularly well in order to remind them of who you are as a candidate and why you stand out. Set weekly goals and schedules. They might include updating your site, adding more contacts on LinkedIn, and so on. Keep to-do lists. This will help you get it all done and not miss anything important. Give yourself a checkup from the neck up. It can be hard to stay positive, especially when you are working so hard filling out applications and not getting interviews. Or, you get interviews, but no firm offers. Watch out for signs of dejection, including procrastinating, avoiding your workspace, doing too much busy work, not taking care of yourself with clean clothes, good meals and so on. Remember, looking for a new job could be a sprint or a marathon. Plan for the marathon and you will not burn out. Getting laid off can be one of the most difficult times of your life. However, it doesn't have to be. It can prove to be a blessing in disguise, even if this is not immediately obvious at the time. For example, if you've been struggling to get out of bed each morning and find the motivation to get through your day, this is your chance to turn things around. If you are organized and stay positive and are proactive about your career, you can lay a solid foundation for success. If you use this time to look within to determine what is most important in terms of your passion and skills, getting laid off could actually open more doors than you could ever have hoped for. Be organized, honest and positive, and your new career path should be a golden opportunity. Accounting careers, promising opportunities and tips. Accounting or accountancy is one of the most promising types of profession today. It is always in demand and the career opportunities here are huge. If you are considering a profession as an accountant, then you will definitely see that this will change your professional life. First of all, you have to know how you can start in the accounting field. Here are some tips that will be able to point you the right way to success. The first thing that you have to do is decide on the field of accounting that you are interested in. There are basically lots of different fields in the accounting career and you will surely find the right one. It is also a good idea to research about information related to accounting or accountancy, such as the college or university you are going to take the course in. You have to consider that companies are quite picky when it comes to the college or university that accountants graduated in. Also, by doing this, you will be able to know which college or university offers quality education, particularly on accountancy. Try consulting accounting professionals and teachers who are knowledgeable about the subject. They will be able to give you a lot of information coming from their experience. If you plan on pursuing a career in accounting, then you have to enroll in a bachelor's degree in accounting. Even if you are good in accounting, you can never have a good job if you don't have at least a bachelor's degree. After graduating, don't set your ambitions too high. Always remember that everyone starts small and work their way up to their goals. Start off as a junior accountant or as a trainee. This will not only give you a chance in the accounting career, but it will also provide you with valuable experience as well as knowledge about accounting. Always remember that accountancy is a continuing education. As much as possible, you have to update your knowledge about accounting in order to keep up with the standards of the industry. As mentioned before, there are lots of career opportunities in accounting. There are many fields of accounting, and it is up to you to choose which one you want to take on as a career. After college, you will be able to qualify for a certified public accountant or as registered public accountant license. Even though you can still get a job as an accountant, even if you don't have any license, you have to remember that more opportunities will open up if you have one. In this profession, you can become an auditor, a management consultant, a financial officer, an analyst, and even as a tax accountant. Being independent or being a freelancer in this field can also be a promising career. However, you do need a good network of contacts in order for you to earn more money and get more experience. You can also try other specializations in accounting, such as forensic auditing, where you will be responsible for investigating crimes related to companies' finances as well as tax fraud. Another great career choice for accountants is by simply becoming a teacher of accounting. This is a very rewarding career choice. As you can see, there are quite a lot of career opportunities for accounting or accountancy. All you need to do is follow the mentioned tips, and you can be sure that you will be well on your way into becoming a successful accountant in the field you choose. Tips for coping. Maintain supportive relationships. Talk with friends and family, and let important people in your life know what is going on. Accepting help and support from people who care about you and will listen to you can help a lot. Keeping secrets is very stressful, and for most people having support and empathy is very helpful in moving through this emotional time. Take care of your body. Exercise is an important antidote for stress. Being mindful about your eating and sleeping are important and trying to keep yourself functioning as well as possible. Nurture yourself. Do something every day that helps you feel good. This is a time to be compassionate with yourself and to utilize stress-reducing tools that help you to feel calm. Try taking a walk, taking a warm bath, talking with someone you trust, meditating, praying, listening to music or anything else that helps you to feel relaxed. Write down your ideas, thoughts and feelings. Writing can be a very useful way to vent negative feelings as well as clarify issues that you might be struggling with. Journaling, writing in letter form, even list making can help to keep your head clear. Keep a positive mental attitude. Stay aware of the messages that you are giving yourself. If you notice you are having self-critical thoughts, e.g., "I will never have a good job again, I feel worthless," it is important to observe this and to tell yourself to stop doing it. These thoughts are unhelpful and make us feel worse. We cannot always be in control of what happens to us. In fact, often how we handle what happens to us is the only thing we can control. Remember that nothing ever stays the same, and tell yourself this too shall pass. Maintain a hopeful outlook and visualize what you want, rather than worrying about what you fear. Pick and choose your targets. When Jack Hinson was laid off in mid-2008 from his job at a large internet content company in Austin, he prioritized his search. It's important to put your time and energy into opportunities that you're the most interested in and that have the best chance of coming to fruition, he says. Pick a few companies you're interested in and pursue them, whether they have current openings or not. Concentrate on growth industries. Brent Berger, a Las Vegas-based scenario planning and strategy consultant, suggests focusing on growth industries and areas. Look at energy, he says. With oil costs where they are, the need for cheap fuel and cheap heat is ever mounting. And any job that alleviates pain is recession-proof. Similarly, the National Guard, Border Patrol, Homeland Security and the defense industry in general will continue to thrive as the next stage in the war on terror continues. Work your network. Hinson's new gig came from an old connection. "I'd spoken to the company's founders about a year ago and stayed in touch," he says. "Then I ran into one of them at a networking function. So flip through your Rolodex or business social media contacts and let them know you're looking. Sell yourself. San Francisco PR account executive Samantha Rubenstein launched a job search just as the economy began to flag. After 3 months, she got a great offer from Atomic PR. She attributes her success to doing more than learning about the company. Preparation includes learning how to talk about yourself in a meaningful and powerful way, she says. I created a list of potential interview questions and typed up bulleted answers to create speaking points. Consider freelancing. Russ Carr, a designer and writer in St. Louis, has twice had a line on a job only to see it slip away when the employer lost a key account or decided to distribute the duties among current employees. To keep some money coming in, Carr started freelancing. I haven't stopped trying to shop myself for a full-time gig again, but freelancing certainly has kept food on the table, he says. If you're in a field that supports it, don't think twice, just do it. Take a temporary position. If freelancing is impractical, try temping. Consider interim staffing to fill a temporary slot for work that needs to be done despite the economy, advises Ronald Torch, president and CEO of the Torch Group, a marketing staffing firm in Cleveland. Or temp with a company that interests you. Many of these options pay well and can carry the burden of bill paying until a permanent position comes along, he says. Sweat the small stuff. Don't forget the personal touches, counsels Felicia Miller, Assistant Director of Career Services at the Art Institute of Las Vegas. Don't use a template cover letter, make sure each letter addresses specific skills or qualities the company is looking for. And always send a thank you note or email after the interview. Use this correspondence as an opportunity to revisit weak areas of your interview. Stay positive. The most important thing when searching for a job in tough economic times is to retain a positive attitude, says Carol Vecchio, founder and executive director of Centerpoint Institute for Life and Career Renewal in Seattle. Even in a job market with 10% unemployment, there's 90% employment, she says. There is an average of over 3 million jobs available in the US per month, and each job seeker is looking for one. Those are pretty good odds. Struggling to find a great job in a bad economy can be a drag, but undertaking even a few of these tips will improve your chances of landing a gig. Remember, it doesn't matter how many jobs are or aren't out there, Vecchio says. You're just looking for one, the right one for you.